Good morning. See if my old monks are at it. Oh. Monk cell. Sont des moines Carthusiennes en France. They are Carthusian monks and they pray this midnight vigils every night for over 2 hours. And I think they're rather beautiful, but they're an entirely enclosed order. So rather their life is just prayer and contemplation apart from the world. Béni soit le Seigneur, blessed be God. In Latin mostly. That was from the Bible in French. Right, well, here we are and here we are. I'm going to ask them to take a pause. I am a Christian. Christ gave us his guidance, the simple prayer, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. For us, his creation, but his servants, here to love him, but also to fear him, we are here to seek and find his will for us, but therefore to try and put our will into his will. Absolutely not in any way, shape or form the other way around. So when people are saying we're doing it in God's name and with God's help and with God's blessing and such like, and what they're actually doing is committing genocide, then woe betide those people. It's nothing new. What comes to mind immediately, obviously, are the Crusades back in the 1100s. We'll kill you in God's name. So for me, it's the Holy Land, Israel, God's chosen people, the Israelites, the Jews, the Hebrews. But now the secular, mostly secular, Zionist Israelis, Jews, committing crimes against humanity, ethnic cleansing, but genocide. So I've been listening to various commentators, journalists, professors of this and that and so on. Special rapporteur, especially, I don't remember all their names, but this lady is Italian, Francesca Albanese, who speaks, she's an international lawyer as well and so on, and speaks very clearly and accurately according to international law what's going on, etc. Virtually unanimously, all of them stating at the United Nations, I try not to be political in these when I speak. But I just can't help this. I mean, I've been listening to this stuff. Atrocities have been committed by human beings throughout all the centuries. It's absolutely nothing new in God's name or otherwise, and it's not just the Christian God. There was an Australian journalist, or well informed, etc., and then speaking to the point, and he reminded us of specifically Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, which is occupied by the Hindu Indian population now, or oppressed by them, and they're, I think, a majority Muslim population, way up somewhere in the high mountains near the Himalayas, whatever. I mean, there are Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, Burma, the Uyghur Muslims, we hardly hear anything about them. In China, I believe, oppressed. I mean, the second war in Iraq, in terms of the number killed, pales everything, all of the current conflict in the Holy Land for me into insignificance in terms of actual numbers, because whatever the figure is, it's well over 1 million innocent Iraqi citizens were slaughtered, murdered, killed by the West, but primarily America. So that's Mr. George W. Bush, to name him, absolutely liable for crimes against humanity and genocide. You see, then they start arguing, because was the intent to displace and wipe out the Iraqi people? And possibly not. But utterly crimes against humanity. And then obviously the poodle, I'm British, Mr. Tony Blair. I won't even say the name of the new president of America. I just won't bring myself to say his name. He's awful. Oh, let's just wipe out the Gaza Strip. Move them on. It's all right. They're only sort of barely people at all. Every single human being is precious and special in God's eyes. Amen. Every single hair on the head of your fellow man, woman, and child is precious and special. So saith the Lord. So, thy will be done. A very good rabbi, no doubt learned and so on, Jewish with the hat and the curls and all sorts of symbols. Anyway, absolutely explaining. His name is Rabbi Dovid Weiss, Dovid Weiss. Certainly was the spokesperson for a very small group of religious Jews, Neturei Karta, Neturei Karta. That God's chosen people, the Israelites, the Jews, the Hebrews, yes, were dispersed for many reasons. AD, Anno Domini, 70 years after Christ. The diaspora, that's the big one. And they're not to return to the Holy Land until the second coming of Christ. And Christ most certainly has not come again yet. But what I hear in my inner voice, in my spirit, with all these goings on in the Middle East specifically, absolutely proud of what they're doing, these Israelis. Secular, Zionist. Oh, Lord. I mean, I listen to the founder of the group Pink Floyd, who obviously are well known more in my era, 60s and 70s, possibly 80s. Roger, anyway, just laying into what's going on, trying to stand up for the Palestinians. It's not a question of numbers. I mean, there's just been another indiscriminate slaughter of hundreds, 400 they say, and plus, and there's meant to be a ceasefire there in the Middle East, and the Israelis have killed 150 people in the last 2 months or something, or more, or whatever. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, the atrocity of it. Picking off body parts of children off the walls, babies. They try and knock out the maternity hospitals. I am not laughing. Listening at the United Nations, the Palestinian spokesperson, excoriating all of this, the Algerian spokesperson, older men, this lovely lady Francesca, an international lawyer, so many of them, Jewish professors, commentators, apparently many ordinary, sensible sort of Israelis, Jewish people, are leaving. They don't want their children to grow up in this melee of awfulness. And Israel taking on all its neighbours. And it could stop overnight, finito, if the Americans stop funding and arming them. So that makes America complicit, utterly, in genocide. And Britain. The poodle coming on behind again. I'm not proud to be British. I am a Christian. I have to speak. I try only really to speak in my love of God through Christ, and then there's 2 commandments, so love God, love your neighbour as yourself, and I try to speak by and large in that manner. I obviously don't have the worldwide platform that the founder of Pink Floyd has. And other senior journalists with 20, 30 years experience covering conflicts and all the rest of it, and there are many other conflicts in the world. For me, this business in the Middle East, the Holy Land, is critical because it involves the Holy Land, so the land where Christ lived. It involves God's chosen people, the Israelites, the Jews, the Hebrews, and then it involves the so-called Christian world, the Christian Western world. And then I am part of humanity. So at the very least, if I do not speak out against this, I'm here in a place called Santiago de Compostela in the northwestern corner of Spain, on a pilgrimage, if you like. I'm at a loss. What more can I, myself, personally do? I've made films about this. Stand up, stand firm. If you have the love of God through Christ within you, we should all just stand up and say, stop. This Palestinian spokesperson spoke for about 15 minutes and was listened to at a big United Nations special convention. There's a United Nations resolution and so on and so forth. But just saying to them, act now, stop this genocide. And America could stop it overnight. So, thy will be done. God knows all this stuff. God was, God is, God will be. I was the best, for what it's worth, physics student at school with my teacher of physics. He'd set the same course to 3 minor public schools, and I got the top mark. So what? Anyway, 10 to the minus 42 seconds, right, just virtually there after the Big Bang, if that's the generally accepted. What happened before the Big Bang? Good question. And then 10 to the 100, that's a 1 on the top, a 1 below, and 100 noughts. Years into the future, the whole universe will stop expanding, contract down, or the other universes, etc., all sorts of stuff. This is a table. This is the only day all of us have now, today. So I didn't go into serious research physics. But I'm still yes, there's prayer. So at a loss. Yes, there's prayer. For me, I'm still in the world pretty much as a vaguely normal human being with a beard and long hair. There's a reason for that too, specifically, which I won't go into here. I have spoken about it on many occasions. But I have to eat and drink and sleep and etc., live just like any other human being. Obviously got electricity, fresh clean drinking water, etc. I'll go back home to Alnwick, Northumbria. It's my home now. I've made 3 films, short films there. This is not the Gaza Strip. It's just a nice little town in Northumbria, old-fashioned town. With relative peace, etc., the rule of law, etc., etc. What's happening now is utterly bouleversé, to just totally throw on its head any sort of normality. That utterly awful man and the President of the United States of America. There's a huge conflict, Russia and Ukraine. China wants to take over Taiwan. Oh, Lord, what else? Love is the answer. I like my old candles. So the light of Christ is shining here in my little place, in my heart, in my soul. Amen.